From Texas, Mr. Green, who is also the chair of the Subcommittee on Oversight and Investigations, is now recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Thank you for being here, Chair Powell. I greatly appreciate the opportunity to have a few thoughts with you, share some thoughts. In February of 2021, you indicated that millions of people were out of the labor force, which is what you've said today, millions. And with millions of people out of the labor force, the Biden administration and persons on my side of the aisle sought to do something about that, to help those who were unemployed. The inflation that my colleagues speak of has to do with unemployment, the help that we gave people who were unemployed at the time. Persons who are unemployed, Mr. Chair, they need help. They can't feed their families. Small businesses were screaming for help. We helped small businesses to get through a turbulent time. This was a pandemic. The vaccines had to be distributed and developed. That's a part of that inflation that they're speaking of. People needed rental assistance. People were literally going to be evicted by the millions, but for the assistance from the Biden administration and Congress. We wanted people to go to work. We provided some child care. If you want people to go to work, schools are closed. You got to help people through these turbulent times. They never talk about what the inflationary costs that they speak of really did, how it benefited American people who were suffering. They overlooked that. They weren't going to help, and now, since they didn't help, they're going to say everything that they can to demean the help that was given. No, they didn't vote for it. They don't extend the hand of friendship to people in times of need. So when they don't do that, they have to find a way to denounce the help that was given. It's really shameful. It's painful, and it's sinful to hear people use a term, inflation, to indicate that people who were unemployed shouldn't have received help. The small businesses that were begging for help shouldn't have been helped. Vaccines shouldn't have been distributed. People shouldn't have gotten rental assistance. They shouldn't get child care. Now, I would respect them if they would say these things, that these are things that they opposed. But they're not going to do that. They use one word, inflation. And unfortunately, our messaging to all of the American people has been somewhat lacking. But I want the people that I serve, who pay attention to the supermarket more so than the stock market, to know that when they needed this help, we were there for them. And Mr. Powell, you indicated that there were millions of people out of work in February of last year, just prior to this help being accorded people. I welcome your commentary.
I'm sorry.
I welcome your commentary.
You welcome my commentary. Sorry, I didn't catch the last part. So, you know, our job is maximum employment and price stability. We did what we did during the pandemic, acute phase and response, and you did what you did, and now we are where we are. And so we have a job to do, and it's very important that we do it, not least because of the people you talk about. The people you talk about are really suffering from inflation now at the grocery store. And the only way we can get back to that, get back to a place where inflation is low again, get inflation back down to 2% and help those people, is by trying to get demand and supply back in balance.
Let me intercede and say this. You said something that I find favor with. You said, we did what we had to do. We did what we had to do. we did what we had to do. We were the adults in the room who did what had to be done. Others who declined to do can now be critical. I yield back.